So can we take one graph and make the other graph?
Ooh, that sounds tricky.
Okay, so let's take each one of these in turn. Here's the position graph we started with, and we want to make a velocity graph that goes with it. Now,
Okay.
first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say this is velocity in meters per second.
Okay.
Okay, and down
Down
here,
below, let's say time. You have to
Time.
push really hard.
all right.
Okay, so then the first section, I know that I am moving away.
Okay, so we're going to need a positive
I'm going to
velocity.
be positive.
So this one is, I'm going to look at that. You know you're moving away, so I'm going to go ahead and
Okay.
say positive.
The second section, I'm not moving, so my velocity is going to be 0, so that will be easy.
So we need a 0.
Okay, and the last one, I'm going to be moving toward. That's a negative
It's
velocity.
a negative velocity. Now, how are you getting those positive zeros and negatives? How do you know which direction you're moving?
Because of the way it's sloped. When
Right.
for a position, if it's sloped upward, that's away.
Positive slope means you're moving away.
Yeah, and a negative slope means I'm moving toward.
Negative slope, we're moving back towards. And no slope means, of course, we're not moving.
Okay, so on our graph, we're going to have to maybe start our velocity kind of in the middle somewhere. Let me switch back here. Does this kind of look middle-ish?
Yep.
So let's call this 0. Right in there. Let's call that 0.
And our steepest slope is...
Looks like the last one is the steepest, right?
So that gets us, that one we're going to have a -1, so
Okay.
we could, and this one, all right, so we could
Whoa,
go...
how did you get that, Mr. Auwerda? We need to figure out how to calculate these slopes.
Okay, well, slope is rise over run, right?
Okay, so the slope of the first section, let's look at that first. So my rise, during that whole thing, I went from 0 to 2, so I went up 2.
Up to
And then my run looks like I went over 3.
over 3.
And I got that rise over
And
run, so up
those
2
are
over 3.
Both positive, right?
Right, so my slope here is 2/3.
Now, what was your rise measured in?
It was meters
And your run?
and seconds.
Right, 'cause
Oh,
our-
so my slope gives me my velocity.
Well, is it a velocity or is it a speed?
Well, I'd say it's a velocity if I put a positive sign on it.
Right, because we know which direction we're moving.
Right.
We got that already. We're moving away. So it is, in fact, a velocity. So since I have a slope of 2/3, and I'm going to have to graph that on my velocity graph, I'm going to go 1 right here.
Okay.
And that way it divides everything up into thirds.
Okay, so for the first 3 seconds, we need to...
That would be -1.
All right, so the first 3 seconds, we'll just go, we're moving at positive 2/3, and we're moving constantly, so for that, I just kind of need to go, okay, kind of like that.
Now, on your position graph, it says you started at 0. How come you didn't start at 0 over here?
Well, my velocity is 2/3. It's not showing me my position, it's showing me my velocity.
Right, okay, so for the first 3 seconds, you moved at a constant speed of 2/3 of a meter per second. So that's what we just graphed.
Right, I didn't start at 0, I started moving at that, so you've got to make sure position is where I'm at, whereas velocity is how fast I'm going.
Right. And then this next section, it shows us
We weren't moving,
We
so my
weren't moving.
velocity is 0.
for those next 3 seconds, velocity is 0. Okay? All right, and then our last one,
Okay, so last one, the magenta, my slope being rise over run, I rose -2 meters because I fell,
actually fell, right?
right? So from here to here I fell, and then my run, I ran 2 seconds, so 2 seconds, which is going to give us -1 meters per second. So I must need to come and stair step down one more time. And my pen's not working. There we go.
All right.
If we want, we can put this in, but it doesn't really matter.
So where were you moving the fastest?
I was moving the fastest right up here, or down here, because up here I was going a speed of 1 meter per second, but up here I was only going a speed of 2/3 meter per second. I'm going to erase that 0, so that's not confusing. There we go.
All right. Okay, so 2/3 of a meter per second is slower than 1 meter per second.
So the further I am from the 0,
0.
the faster I am moving.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, because positive and negative just denotes direction.